Okay, let's talk about room size. Obviously, the size of the room makes an enormous impact on the way it sounds, and that applies in real life acoustics as well as plugins here. So let's take a look. What I've done here, I've muted the tail, so all we're getting is early reflections. And I've switched our stupid clap sound, which already had reverb on it, and it was kind of confusing the issue just a little bit in previous attempts here. I got it to a hi-hat now. So let's listen to the dry track. Pretty exciting beat, huh? Pretty dope. Okay, and so I've tossed on our UAD Reverb Pro here. I've got the tail completely nuked, and I have this room set to be 71 meters, whatever that really means. Anyhow, and what you can see is, let's actually pull it all the way down and start with a tiny room. And as you'd expect, early reflections are very quick because if you're in a smaller room, one wall might be 4 feet away, and another one might be 6 feet away, things like that. And so the reflections are very close. Whereas if you get into a giant room, maybe you're close to one wall, but other walls can take forever for the sound to get to and come back. And so what you're seeing is when it takes forever to come back, that's more of these doodads here. So anyway, let's listen to what it sounds like real up close. It's kind of hard to even make out at that point, and we got the level on this pretty cranked. But we can get that louder though. And that's actually a good indicator of what you're going to get in a crappy little room anyway. It just adds a bunch of dull junk. Doesn't really do anything of interest. So versus it almost sounds more wooden. Anyhow, I guess we got to turn it up a little bit more too. But okay, and so obviously a tiny room is not the way to go in any situation. Let's go more of a medium thing. You can see the individual reflections are spacing out. Okay, so what's going on there? Well, you're starting to sound like a woodpecker, right? Well, the woodpecker sound is actually just the reflections are so far spaced out that we can actually hear them. They're long enough that they become real reflections again. So that's one, I would say, downside or something to be careful with at least when dealing with early reflections that are particularly bright. Now, different reverb plugins have different ways of dealing with this whole room size business, and some of them will do quite a number on the tail itself. The tail itself too will change, and so it really comes down to learning each individual plugin and how it responds to differences in sizes. And this one here isn't always as responsive as I would expect for whatever reason. Let's listen to that and see if we can get any cool tails out of this thing. Yeah, and see in this particular plugin, the tail appears to be completely independent of the room size, and you definitely won't see that on every plugin. In fact, again, every plugin has its own unique thing, so definitely pay attention. What you're going to find is the bigger the room, the more spacious, but which is kind of a given, I guess. But the characters are going to change quite a bit, and so make sure you're doing a lot of extreme changing of all the way down, all the way up. To really dial in that whole room size because it's absolutely critical for most things you do with your reverb, vocal mixing, and things like that. All right, guys, thanks. Bye.